There have been a lot of bad episodes in Thomas and Friends, and I mean a lot of bad episodes. But when it comes to the classic series, seasons 1 and 7, it's really rare to see any bad episodes. So in this video, we're going to be covering the top 10 worst classic series episodes. I hope you all enjoy, and let's get into the video. For the first one on here, it's Gordon and the Gremlins from season 5. Gordon and the Gremlins is here because, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad episode. I just feel like I didn't feel anything after I watched it. Basically, the plot is in the beginning, they're talking about if gremlins are real or not. Then it shows a montage of Gordon trying to be on time as he's a little late. Then we sort of get this area where we cross over between Thomas, Top Hat, and Gordon, and we meet the special guest, his mother, Dowager Hat. Then it shows another montage of Gordon trying to get on time, and the VIP is sort of being late. And then we get this end of this dog kind of getting lost, and yeah, that's the episode. Again, like I said, it's not a bad episode. I just don't know what I got out of it after the episode ended. I mean, what does Gordon really do important in this episode? And when were the Gremlins ever involved? They were just talked about in the beginning of the episode. Like I said, it's not a bad episode. I just don't know how to feel after it. It's like I got nothing out of it. It feels like a Tuesday. Gordon and the Gremlins, not a bad episode. Again, just kind of feels meaningless and a little bit dull. At number 9, we have season 2's Better Late Than Never. Better Late Than Never is the definition of a filler episode. It feels like I got nothing out of this episode at all. Basically, the plot of the episode is that there's a new viaduct being constructed, which is making the mainline engines late, which in turn makes Thomas late. Now, the episode, we have a montage of Thomas being late and Birdie teasing him, and then him getting mad at the mainline engines continuously, even though it's not really their fault. This kind of goes on for a couple of scenes, and then in the end, we see Thomas save Birdie's passengers, and he could only do that because he was late. So I guess the lesson of the episode is that being late isn't really that bad? Yeah, that's what I mean when it feels like a filler episode. But we know why it's like this. This is a Christopher Audrey written book, and during this time, the show told him to write more stories about Thomas, which gave him less creative freedom to write, and in turn, he felt like he was running out of stories for Thomas. This is why the story feels kind of, rushed. Because it is. It's just so that Thomas can get an extra episode, and like I said, the definition of a filler episode. At least Gordon and the Gremlins was kind of interesting. This one's just nothing. Next up at 8, season 1, Big David Thomas. Now don't get me wrong, this one is a classic. And every time I rewatch this episode and season, I always love this episode. However, let's be real. If it wasn't Audrey's original written story, this wouldn't get so much credit. I mean, you're telling me Thomas didn't know that he wasn't pulling anything? Like I said, Audrey wouldn't make the story in his later books. This is purely just getting love just because it's an Audrey written book. I'll always love this episode because it's a classic, but let's be real. If it wasn't for an Audrey written original book, it feels like a Miller era or Hit era episode. Next up, we have season 6, Buffer Bother. Buffer Bother isn't a bad episode. I just kind of feel like it doesn't really give us anything, kind of like Gordon and the Gremlins. Basically, the plot is that Ben, gets hurt while doing work and he has to get new buffers. Bill all of a sudden is super jealous. And throughout the episode, we kind of see Bill, getting distracted because he's jealous of Ben's new buffers. He ends up getting hurt because he was distracted, and Ben ends up saving him. And yeah, that's kind of the episode. Again, kind of like Gordon and the Gremlins and, Better Late Than Never. I didn't really feel anything. I guess just lower because it's kind of annoying seeing Bill get annoyed and worked up over something so little like new buffers. It's alright. Next up, we have season 7's The Old Bridge. Now, this is an episode that fans love to trash on, and kind of rightly so, mainly because of Skarloey's character assassination. Basically, Skarloey, falls on the bridge, and then he gets scared because he fell on the bridge previously. And eventually, though, when Rheneas gets stuck on the bridge, Skarloey has to come help him, and eventually he'll overcome his fear of, being afraid of heights. Now again, I don't think it's a bad episode. I think if it was any other character, it would have worked. Skarloey has been the oldest engine on the narrow gauge line. He's not supposed to act like this. Again, I don't think it's a bad episode. I think dealing with PTSD is very interesting to see. Just not Scar Lowy though, especially for his character being wise, old, and mature. Again, not a bad episode, just probably a different character would be better suited for this episode. Next up, we have Season 7's Trusty Rusty. Trusty Rusty is an episode that feels like it just does things to make the episode go forward. Basically, Rusty goes on the old bridge, and the old bridge cracks. So he goes and tells other engines that the bridge is dangerous and to not go on it. But Duncan says he doesn't want to listen to him because he's a diesel. Yeah, it's pretty dumb. So Duncan eventually has to get coal, and he needs to go through the old bridge in order to get coal. And because Rusty's a diesel, he doesn't really care about his opinion. And guess what happens? He goes on the bridge, and of course it breaks. And then Rusty has to come and save him. And then Duncan realizes that, hey, maybe diesel engines aren't so bad. You see what I mean? It's like, why does Duncan care that he's a diesel? Are we still really doing this? I mean, you're watching and you're like, oh, of course, because it's a diesel. Why not? It's not unique. I just feel like it just does it just for the episode to go forward. It was a pretty lame reason to go. And you just kind of sit there wondering like, oh, of course. Yeah, of course he said he's a diesel and that's why he didn't want to go. Just a lame excuse. Again, kind of annoying watch. Next up, we have Season 6's Rusty Saves the Day. Talk about an episode that just completely rewrites Soldier's history, just for the sake of the episode. I mean, since when did Scar Lowy and Rheneas ever have a line of their own? And if, let's say, the line did get closed down, doesn't that mean the entire railway gets closed? And how on earth was the line in that bad of condition? Scar Lowy and Rheneas never had a line, and there's no need for the line to be that horribly, maintained. Again, just a bad episode that just rewrites Soldier's history, kind of. Yeah. Next up, we have Season 7's What's the Matter with Henry? Now, What's the Matter with Henry is so sad because Thomas and Percy are just mean to Henry for absolutely no reason. Henry gets sick, right? And for some reason, Thomas and Percy just decide to be jerks to him. Why are they making him take more trucks? Just for what? And of course, he breaks down. And yes, I know in the end, eventually, Thomas and Percy get punished, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel enough. It kind of feels like a slap on the wrist. They made this poor Henry man go through hell. For what? Just so they could have fun? I guess the one thing I'll say is that I'm glad Emily kind of showed compassion. It was nice seeing Emily, be there for Henry. But overall, man, this episode, you just feel bad for Henry. Thomas and Percy are just dicks to him for absolutely no reason. Really sad. Next up, we have Season 7's Rheneas and the Roller Coaster. Rheneas and the Roller Coaster is like the old bridge with Scar Lowy. It's a complete character assassination. Basically, Sir Top Hat tells Rheneas to take some kids on a tour of the narrow gauge railway. And Rheneas, he accepts it. But now, for some reason, whenever the driver shows the kids a sight of the narrow gauge railway, Rheneas gets super upset because it's apparently not special. And we see this throughout the episode. Rheneas just keeps on complaining because it's not special. Then he goes down the wrong line and kind of goes on this roller coaster, and the kids like it a lot. And in the end, that's the episode, Rheneas and the Roller Coaster. Now, what I don't like about this episode is, why does Rheneas care? That's not who he is. Why is he whining about something so little? It's just annoying. It's like, Rheneas, shut the hell up, please. What do you want? Again, it's just not in Rheneas' character. Maybe if it was Duncan or someone else, then maybe. But no, it's just not a good episode. And also, Michael Brenda's narration is not the best.
How am I going to make the Children's Day really special?
But yeah, that's about all I can say for this episode. It's just, that's not how Rheneas acts. It's a pretty bad episode, nonetheless. And in first place, we have Middle Engine. Middle Engine just makes your blood boil. It's so infuriating because the antagonists, Ari and Bert, just completely get away. And the good guys, James and Percy, they just get punished. Percy is basically in the middle, hence Middle Engine by Ari and Bert. Then Henry bumps Percy in the coal chute and Percy goes up and he gets dirty. Now, for some reason, the manager, the dick he is, decides to get Percy in trouble. And of course, the top hat, who's an asshole this entire episode, gets Percy in trouble. Now, poor Percy didn't even do anything. He was just at the wrong place and wrong time, but he gets in trouble for something he didn't do. So, later on, James eventually gets in the middle engine as well. And what happens to James? Yeah, he just gets laughed at. Yep, just get made fun of. And that's how the episode ends. See, this episode is so infuriating because Ari and Bert just completely get away. They face no punishment whatsoever. James and Percy have to suffer for the wrongdoings of others. And Sir Topham Hatt, man, he is so annoying this episode. I don't know why he's such a dick. I don't know why he's so infuriating. And so is the manager too. That manager needs to shut the hell up. But other than that, this episode sucks. It's just infuriating to watch. And yeah, that's the video. Surprisingly, half the episodes weren't even actually bad. They were just probably below average at best. Also, surprisingly, not a lot of bad Thomas episodes here. And for some reason, there were just a lot of bad narrow gauge engine episodes in this series. Anyways, thank you very much guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.